So, so, okay, guys, let's start with our session. Before starting the session, I just want to introduce you myself, who I am, why I'm here, and my job and all those things. I will be discussing about myself here. So, guys, my name is Anish Ansari. I'm having 10 plus years of experience. From last few years, I'm into training domain. Specifically, this is my part-time job, basically. Currently working in one of the MNC where I am a Kubernetes administrator, senior DevOps engineer. Basically, my job role is deploy Kubernetes cluster, perform POCs, and containerize application management of Kubernetes related application and maintenance of the cluster in different environments. Okay, so I'm certified Kubernetes administrator. I did my CKA certification. I think 2021. I completed that one, and very soon I will be holding my another certificate, that is CKS, Certified Kubernetes Security Specialist. And I delivered trainings for not only few institutes, but I delivered training for corporate batches as well. I did training for big brands, Intel, Oracle, Infosys, HCL. They are big brands. There are a lot of company name are there. So I delivered training for a candidate who freshly joined, but I can say that that was my luck. Where whenever I did corporate trainings, I handled um, 90% of the experienced candidate. Okay, they were having around 5 years, 10 years, even 17, 20 years of experienced people, and I helped them to work in their project smoothly. I help them to understand the concept of Kubernetes deployment and all the technical stuff. So, guys, this was the few thing about me, and today I'm here to teach you Kubernetes. Okay, guys. So, we will be talking about the course content. First of all, what all things we are going to cover in this course. This course is specifically for Kubernetes only. Okay. So, guys, before starting anything, I just want to know, your experience and in Kubernetes. I'm just sharing a link here. Okay. In that link, you'll have to vote. Open the link and vote your experience there. Okay, the simple question I'm asking there, in that survey link: how familiar you are with Kubernetes? Three option will be there. Okay, pasting. Yes, guys, I sent you the link, and just open it and vote your experience there. You are beginner, you are intermediate level of your experience you're having, or somebody is having expert level also. Mhm. Three people voted till now. Four people voted till now. I can see that how many people are voting. Hmm. I'm expecting eight votes. So please vote here. Okay, one person is having intermediate knowledge. May I know who is it? Yeah.
Yeah, hi, Anisha. So this is Rakesh. So I'm the completely backend developer. So mostly currently I'm working on this Kubernetes. So I mean, right now what we are doing, our legacy applications we are trying to migrate into as a microservices. So that's the reason. So we want to deep dig into this. Why it is required. So that's the reason I want to join this one.
Perfect. It was a very good decision to join, Kubernetes sessions. The reason behind this is most of the companies started adopting Kubernetes, and Kubernetes market is very huge. And in upcoming months or years, we will be seeing that it will be the mandatory skill in DevOps. Okay. So, yes, guys, one more important thing, you need to share your contact detail personally, okay, to Visualpath IT. Here, Visualpath, my team is here, Visualpath IT. Please ping your contact details to them so that they can reach you out. Okay. So guys, let me share my screen and we will be discussing about Kubernetes course content. Okay. So I hope my screen is visible to all of you guys, I guess, right? Yeah,
Yes.
perfect, guys. So guys, prerequisite of Kubernetes, first of all, okay? You should already aware of Docker, okay? You should know Docker. This is the prerequisite, the mandatory thing it is. If you already know Docker, that's perfectly fine. Okay. So guys, what all things that we are going to see in our course. First of all, we will be talking about its architecture, what all component Kubernetes is having, right? Their job, their roles, responsibility, why they are available in Kubernetes, in what type of nodes in your cluster they are available, right? So we will be discussing about Kubernetes, all the component, right, and architecture. After that, guys, we will be creating Kubernetes cluster by using kubeadm. Cluster creation in Kubernetes, we are having multiple ways. Okay, so what are multiple ways we are having in Kubernetes to create a cluster? Let's discuss here. you know Very first of all, kubeadm. This is for exam. Okay, this is for exam purpose, just to learn the thing, just to explore its content, how Kubernetes works. Okay. Now you will be seeing that in kubeadm, in our training environment, in our trainings, we will be creating one master node, two worker node, two worker nodes. Okay, this will be the pattern. We will be creating cluster like this: one master, two worker. Okay. Apart from this, so we are having cloud Kubernetes as well. Okay, cloud K8s Kubernetes. This word, K8s came from, in K and S, like of Kubernetes. Starting and ending word is K, and ending is S. In between, it is having 8 characters, so it's K8s in shortcut. Okay, we are having cloud Kubernetes as well. In AWS, we are having EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service. After that, we are having Azure Cloud, right? Azure Cloud. Okay. There we are having AKS, Azure Kubernetes Service. Now again we are having GCP, Google Cloud. Okay. In in Google Cloud, we are having GKE, okay, Google Kubernetes Engine. Guys, never ever go and never ever get confusion in between these three cloud Kubernetes. Okay, whatever objects or things that we are going to learn in kubeadm. Okay, kubeadm, deployments. Okay, config maps, config maps. Okay, secret, and what else? Replica set, replica set. What else? Daemon set, daemon set. And there are many objects are available in Kubernetes. These are just few I just named here. Okay, all those Kubernetes objects going to work in all these clouds. Okay, all those objects will be working in your any cloud Kubernetes. It will not be making a single percent or point 0.5 or nothing point difference. No differences will be there. Each and everything will be same. But then what is the difference? We're talking about differences. Only difference that you are going to find in this AWS or Azure or GCP or kubeadm is you know cluster creation. Okay, this is the different, every time different methods will be there to create the cluster. Once the cluster is ready, no difference, because Kubernetes is same everywhere. Not only okay, one more point is there. The different that you will be seeing is cluster management. Okay, cluster management, cluster creation, cluster management. You will be finding it out different methods, different ways in all these clouds. The reason behind this is all these clouds are separate. They are having their own idea to create the cluster. Rest of the thing will be same. Okay, we will be having more and more clarity about Kube ADM and cloud Kubernetes once we will be started learning the things. Okay, so there's a difference, right? Now, guys, um, yeah, customization. Okay, so guys, how we can get free clusters available online. I will be guiding you on that part as well. Okay, free cluster online so that you can practice your Kubernetes anywhere. Okay, I'm having few of the accounts that I will be sharing with you that you can use. I don't know for how long, but you can use it to learn Kubernetes from anywhere, even in your workplace or somewhere if you are having internet access. Okay, now guys, here we are having object of pod. Okay, object of pod, what exactly pod is, how to create a pod, and pod with single and multi container. So guys, you know that previously we in Docker, how we used to create, you should have idea about that, I guess. Let me ask you one more question, guys. Let me ask you one more question in the same slide. Uh-huh. So guys, do one thing, open the same link that I shared you previously. Okay, same link. Just refresh your page and vote it again. I just want to check how many of you are good with Docker. Okay, how many of you are good with Docker? I just want to check. Can you please open the link and vote there? Sorry. Yeah, guys, I didn't hear anything from you. Mm-hmm. Okay, two people voted. Okay, three people voted till now. I'm expecting more. Okay. Okay. So I can assume that. Okay, I can assume that all of you is having knowledge about Docker. I can expect, or I can assume this one, right? Because a very less number of votes are there. Most of is having intermediate experience. That's fine. It will be working it out. Hmm. If you feel that I am not having idea or knowledge on Docker, we can manage that one. Okay, we can take one or two sessions for Docker, and then we can, right, we can manage that thing. So guys, perfect. So let's come back to our topic. Yeah. Now guys, see this one. How we used to create Docker container. We used to have one of the machine. In this machine directly, just we used to go and we used to run docker run command to get a Docker container, right? So this container used to got created immediately, right, without any problem, without any hassle. It used to create it, right? Now what happens here is in Kubernetes you cannot create containers directly. So Here we are having concept of pod. Okay, guys. Here we are having concept of pod. Okay. In this pod, you can create as many as containers required. You can create 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. You can create it. Okay. You can
Uh,
create it in this
One
pod.
doubt here.
Yes.
So mentioned about deployments, config map, those things, right? So those are the things tasks we used to do in Kubernetes, right?
Yeah.
So what is the main purpose of Kubernetes app? The main purpose.
Okay, the main purpose of Kubernetes, we will be going there. Don't worry, don't bother about that. So basically, the use of Kubernetes is, container management. So assume that. Let me delete this image here. Assume that you are having one server. Okay, this is my server. It could be your EC2 instance or Azure VM or anything. Okay, this is my server with one of the IP address. I'm just writing some dummy class 4 IP address 1.20 something, one server I'm having. To create containers, what I will be doing here is, you know i will be I will be installing Docker engine, right guys? I'll be installing Docker engine over here. My Docker engine is installed. Now I will be able to create containers. Let's see. I created one container. I created one container here called something, Mango application. I'm just naming it like this. Okay. Mango application. And not only one container, I can create many containers here as per my host machine's capacity and resource requirement of my container. Okay. Apple application. These two containers I create. Now, guys, see what happens here is we'll have to achieve highly availability. So, what it does mean by highly availability? Any clue for that? Who will be telling me, guys, about highly availability?
So there is no downtime for this one. For example, if you one container is done automatically, second container it will be up.
Right? Perfect. So, see what happens is if this container, okay, this Mango app, if it is getting fail, okay, if this Mango application is getting fail or it is not working, so this container should be recreated immediately. Okay, means health check. Health check, we should have option of health check. Okay, first of all, second thing, if this container itself is getting it started getting more request to serve the traffic at one time, once it is reaching all the resource usability, it will not be able to serve the traffic. Somehow it started feeling trouble. Your response will be slow, and there is possibility it can be fail 100%, right? So here we'll have to achieve highly availability that we cannot achieve while being alone Docker. If still you want to do that, you can do that by putting lot of effort, creating duplicate, replicated containers, and by writing some of the Python or Shell script to do load balancing by creating Nginx reverse proxy container. That will be really very hectic task to write script from the scratch in Docker. That's not a good way. If still you are looking to achieve highly availability, we are having option for Docker Swarm to manage and orchestrate the container. But again, Docker Swarm is having its own limitations. We are having very limited feature in Docker Swarm. Okay, we are having Kubernetes. In Kubernetes you can create multiple servers. Okay, you can create multiple servers. In those servers install Kubernetes component and your what is that? Sorry. Let me name it something here. This is my server. Okay, server. This is my Kubernetes server. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll create the cluster. What is the cluster, guys? What is the cluster? Anybody who will tell me about cluster? What exactly cluster is?
It's a
Yeah,
combination of the collections, yeah. So
cluster.
collection of servers is nothing but
Yes, cluster is
so like
nothing but, yeah, group of nodes, collection of servers. Anything you can tell. So in this cluster, we will be having multiple nodes, okay, and we will be installing all the required component to make your cluster, Kubernetes cluster up and running. Now, guys, here in Kubernetes cluster, you can create your application in your containerized environment. Okay, this will be my application pod. I'm just naming it application pod. You can create replicas. Kubernetes gives you facility to create replicas of your application in all the nodes. Okay, you can automatically scale up and scale down as per resource requirement. Means Kubernetes will be helping you to manage and orchestrate your containers. That is not possible in alone Docker. Here you can check, you can continuously keep checking your containers health. If any container is failing, it will be recreated. Okay, if it is stopped, its application is not performing well, health check will be stop sending traffic towards your pods. Okay, so this is how we got Kubernetes. Okay, this is the main use of Kubernetes. And to manage your containerized application in Kubernetes, we are having few of the object called deployment. Deployment will be helping you to replicate or rolling update or roll perform rollbacks of your deployment, that can be done through deployment object. Configmap is just to manage centralized configurations. Secrets is just to manage your password. You can keep your passwords and certificate in centralized place, and you can use them as per your requirement. A replica set is basically the older version of deployment, but deployment works with replica set. Guys, I need a minute. Yes, guys, there was some background noises, so that's the reason I muted myself. So, guys, this is the thing. Okay, I think it is clear to all of you. If you guys are having doubt and question queries, you can ask me. We'll be discussing these all things in very very detail. Okay, today we are having demo sessions and we are having only 1 hour to go through the course content as well. So, yeah, guys. Any question queries at this point?
Yeah, and it's just a lot of
Yeah, you should be having.
yeah, yeah. So
What is that? Few, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, Rakesh.
yeah. So yeah, and so actually, so the thing is, so we do have already experiences in the application development and background processing. The concern is
Uh-huh.
here. So right now we are using the already predefined Kubernetes, right? So we want to do the on-premise, right? So we do have a physical services in our offices. So what we want to do,
Uh-huh.
we want to create a different master node from the one region, and what we call a slave node from the another region, which means consider we have a master node from India, the slave nodes from the other, what we call other region, nothing but
Region.
East Asia, something
Yes.
EMEA, something
Yes.
such kind of thing.
Correct.
So the
Correct.
reason why they need to get the more availability. So why? Because we have a huge load. So that's the reason
Yeah.
they don't go for this AWS and Azure. Why? Because it's a cost, right? We have a huge cost. So that's the reason we do have around 2000, 3000, independent applications. So those are the upcoming process. So that's the reason I want to know
Mm-hmm.
how these things will be segregated and high level architecture plan. So I want to,
Architecture
yeah,
look
right.
like. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's kind of the things we do have. And one more thing, so currently if you go for the EKS or Azure, sorry, AKS, right? So currently
Yeah.
Azure DevOps itself, it is providing the automatic deployment, right, by using Azure DevOps. But the
Yes.
concern is we do have our own DevOps, so that is the on-premise DevOps. How do we integrate such kind of the automatic deployment from the own DevOps to the on-premise Kubernetes clusters?
Sure. Okay. Sure. I'll tell you. I'll tell you how this thing works. Okay. So let's talk about cluster creation, guys. Okay. We want to create a Kubernetes cluster. We need to have,
Right.
first of all, master node. It's mandatorily required. And then we need to
Exactly.
have worker node, right? We need to
Yeah.
have worker node. This is, I'm talking about on-premises thing, okay? In our
Yeah.
on-premises, we can have multiple worker node, okay? This is the master. Let me name it. Master, master node, okay? And this will be my worker node, worker node. Worker node. Okay. So guys, what we did is we just purchased all the hardware and we assembled and we did networking in our campus, our premises. We did all those things. Now in Kubernetes setup, we need a master node. Why master is required? Master node is required to manage your deployment and the worker node. What exactly worker node will be doing? Whenever guys we are containerizing the application, so your containerized application, your containerized application will be deployed only only in worker node. Okay, it will not be going and getting deployed in master node. Still you can do that, but you'll have to do some of the settings to get your application container or pods deployed in master node. By default this setting is off. Why this setting is off? Okay, this should be the question. Basically, here already few of the component which is responsible to manage your complete cluster is running in master node called cube uh, API server, cube API server, ETCP, okay, scheduler, and many more. These are the important component which is running here. Along with this, few more will be there called core DNS or flannel calico, something like that will be keep running there. These components are required, hardware resources. Okay, these components are required hardware resources like RAM, CPU, and hard drive, HDD, or like we can say SSD, whatever you are having, hard drive, it's required. Now guys, assume that if these component required hardware resources, obviously your pod will be requiring hardware resources, correct? Correct? Is it the thing? Right? Whenever we are creating any kind of deployment in any of the node, we need RAM and CPU memory, then only it will be creating required container. But correct? If there is no any resource available, then your container will never be gonna create it. Okay, assume that you created one of the application pod in your master node, and this is a resource hungry application. It started consuming all these resources. Okay, all these resources it started consuming. Now what will happen here in this scenario is, okay, what will happen is, now these guys, these applications which is there to manage your Kubernetes, it will be started facing lack of resources. Because of this issue, it will not be able to manage your worker nodes. Assume that. Okay, I think this is clear now, Rakesh. Okay, now assume that
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
node,
this is fine. This is fine, Anish. So we already know that
I'm
this
just going.
this kind of the
I'm just
mechanism.
going there. Region thing I'm
Yeah.
going. Wait a while. You need to wait. Okay. Let's
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
I just deployed this node in US, something, some region. Okay. US location one. Okay. I'm saying that US location one. Somewhere I deployed. Okay.
Yeah.
Now this node is deployed somewhere in Europe. Okay. Europe location one. We can say that. And this worker node, okay, this worker node is deployed in Indian region, India, anywhere like AP South something. We deployed it now. So see, will do you think that the single master is enough to manage this worker node while you are running enterprise level of application? You might be having 200, 400 worker nodes. Obviously, no, right? This
No.
alone
No. No.
master
No.
cannot do
No.
that.
No.
It cannot manage it. Like if load is getting increased, node itself will be going to fail. Your whole
Yeah.
infrastructure will be going down. Again, what you'll have to do at that moment, you'll have to create few more master nodes. You started adding few more master nodes, and you started. configuring it. In this situation, you will have to define in which region you are going to create master node, not for all this region. This should be globally accessible. Okay, this is the very first thing. Now, guys, the second thing that I just want to discuss here is that if you are creating multiple master nodes, you have to put more effort to manage them. You need to configure networking part if these are running in different region, and even your worker nodes are running in different regions. If you are using AWS cloud or any cloud, so you should be very expert in VPC. If it is AWS, so we need to have some expertise on GPC peering, transit gateway, and all those things, like big things comes into the picture at that time. Okay, so to avoid this additional configuration of master node and their management, we got cloud solutions. Okay, we got cloud solution like EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service, Azure Kubernetes Service, Google Kubernetes Engine. So that is the reason I was talking about in my previous slide here. Like these all clouds will be the same with your deployment. Their cluster management and cluster creation method is only the different thing. And if you want to achieve highly availability in case of cloud Kubernetes, so what exactly happens here is, let me tell you, any cloud cluster, if we are talking about, so again its core architecture will be similar. Okay, so you will be having master node. Okay, you will be having master node if it is a cloud. Let me define. Okay, cloud Kubernetes. Okay, this is a cloud Kubernetes. So guys, this master node will be managed by your cloud provider. If it is AWS, then it is EKS. If it is Azure Kubernetes, so AKS and GKE. So Google will be managing the master node. No matter, you no need to even think about its highly availability. You no need to have multi-master. You no need to bother, if my master node is getting crashed, then what I will do? Nothing will happen. These guys are this cloud people will be taking care of your master node. Only you need to bother about your worker node. Okay, only you need to bother about your worker node. Okay, this is my worker node. Okay, this one worker node, this is two worker node, and I can have multiple worker node. It doesn't matter at all. So my responsibility is just to go with worker node. Still you are lazy if you are thinking that I don't want to manage my worker node itself. I just want my cloud provider to manage worker node. So guys, what happens here is, for an example, you are running with a Kubernetes version 1.20. So if you are going with managed worker node, so this cloud provider will automatically updating or doing patching on your nodes as well on behalf of you. How simplified things these guys are doing there. Got it? Give me a second, guys. Somebody is, what the, yeah, guys. I think it's clear now, Rakesh, right?
Yeah, yeah, got it. The concern is so we have ties, right? Premium ties and subscriptions. So based on that, they will provide the availability and everything. But
Yes.
okay, this is fine. And one more question, so Animesh, is okay. I think most
Mhm.
of the questions I'm all asking, yeah, people
Yeah,
are
you
okay.
are only the
Don't think,
person who's
guys.
asking
So
what about
yeah,
so wait,
yeah,
Rakesh. Guys, you should be frankly ask questions to me, and even wrong. If I'm asking questions, the wrong answers is also I'm expecting, or it's good only. Okay, so we are learning here. We are not doing any kind of interview. We are not a part of any of the same team where we what my colleague will be thinking about. myself. We are learning. You can ask me the question and be interactive. Let's make our all the session interactive. And the best part of this trading, personally, I feel, I did lots of corporate batches, and trust me, some of the corporate companies told me to complete Docker within 4 to 5 hours, first half basically, 4 hours, and complete Kubernetes within 2 to 3 days. So I did that one too. And here we will be having lots of time, and daily 1 hour session will be there. And after the session, you will be getting video, and whatever commands that I'm executing, whatever YAML files I'm executing, just do the same. You'll be having like, another 23 hours. 1 hour I'm taking, and another 23 hours. Anytime plan your availability and just execute the similar command, so that things will be very clear to you. Even if during out of our session hours you guys are facing issues, so we are having WhatsApp group. One session is, you guys are continuing the session, you guys will be added to that WhatsApp group, and whenever you are practicing and you are facing difficulties, issues, just type your question in the group. I will be responding as per my availability, not very quick. I might be somewhere in meeting or something like that. So you can expect a delay, but most of the time I'm replying quickly. So that's the thing. Okay, and don't keep things like, okay, today Anish told this topic. What I'll do is I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow you might be having some another task to do. Another day after tomorrow, like things will be going in pending, and I will not be stopped my session, and it will be just you will be having collection of topics, and if you are having trouble or difficulty there, at the end of the session it will be difficult for you to manage all those things. Okay, so be active, and yeah. Yes, Rakesh, you are saying something. Continue.
Yeah. So assume that we have this entire setup in the private network. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, right. So for example, if you want to deploy the one application, so definitely we need to go with the images. Okay. So this
right.
image, so how the image will transfer to the particular server. So how
Hmm.
it will happen.
This is internal structure that will be remotely downloaded. How you are downloading any file from internet, wget command, right? Gzip, if you want to
Right.
download a zip file, tar file, so you are using wget, or somehow you are using curl hyphen or something, to download. Similarly, it is having its images hosted in one centralized place, and it will be downloading in image format. You don't need to bother
And
about that.
for example, assume that was I just published my code in my local. Okay, now I want to deploy that code into the any one of this cloud services or this private Kubernetes. How it will happen?
No difference. Same. Whatever things you are seeing in on-premises, it will be same in cloud. Nothing new. Nothing
No,
new.
Anish. So the question is assume that I have a sample application. I have a sample application in my local. Okay.
You need to containerize it first of all. You need to
So
write a
contain,
Docker
yeah,
file. Yeah, you
right.
need to containerize it.
Those must be hosted in the Docker host, right, or somewhere else. How it will be?
Okay. See how it works. How it works. So see that. See that here. Um, this is my server. This is my server. I need here Docker installed. Okay. Docker should be installed. I'm creating one image by creating Docker file. Okay, you will be creating one image by writing Docker file. So we can assume that this is my Docker file. It will be having lots of instructions in it. And once you are executing Docker build command, it will be giving you your image ready. Okay. This image is available where it is available currently in this server. Now we are having some of the centralized repository. I'm just taking you example of
GitHub.
hub.docker.com or multiple. GitHub also. GitHub is called here GHCR. Okay, GitHub Container Registry, or JFrog, or somewhere, Harbor. There are many things. Okay, there are many repositories. You can
Is
use uh, you can use any one of the repository, and what you'll have to do is you'll have to upload. You will have to you'll have to upload your image to the repository. It should be uploaded there, and obviously my image will be having naming convention like this: ghcr.io slash my username Anish Ansari slash my application Mango, and like the Mango app naming convention, Mango app version 1 or version 2, blah blah blah, like versioning will be there. This will be my image. Now, you are having Kubernetes cluster. Kubernetes is running there. These are your worker nodes. We can assume that these are the worker nodes. Here, you might be having container D or Docker running in each of the worker node. It's a required component in Kubernetes. Okay. So whenever you are creating a pod, so your pod will have some of the configuration. In that configuration, just I'm telling you that it's how it will look like. Image and image, this name will be written over there. Okay, let me drag it over here. Its code snippet look like this. Okay, in your pod or in your deployment, you'll be having this thing mentioned there, image this. So obviously, see, URL is already mentioned here, so it will be going to that URL. It will be downloading a pod, and replica will be created here. Each and every node will be downloading image separately 3 times. Okay, because all these are 3 nodes. This is how it works.
One,
All good?
one. This image, so this image, so for example, I just run my the entire setup from my local, right? So I just created the Docker image from my local. Okay,
Huh.
so what the
Huh.
developers will do, they will just push the changes into the any one of the repository, right? So it may include the image also. Is it Docker or Kubernetes can pull the image from there?
Yes. So I'll tell you. So basically, your concept of Docker is not at all clear. That's the reason you are asking me this question, right,
Yeah.
Rakesh? Yeah. So how you are containerizing your application? You tell me.
So in my local, all the applications are running under the Docker only. Okay, so it must be running on the Docker only. When we run the Docker, automatically image will be triggered. We will get the image name. What is the image name? And also within the repository, whatever the code we are doing, right inside the code we have a Docker file also, right? So by default, the application, whether it's a .NET application or Java application, now the IDs are giving that one. But the question is when we push the some code to the any one of the repository, centralized repository, according to the
No,
developer
no, no,
point
no,
of
no,
view.
no, 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 no. Got it. Your question is clear here to me. Now you are saying that you created this image. Your image is created here. That's perfectly fine. If somebody else is putting new code in GitHub, then
Right,
what will
right.
happen to that image? Right?
That
Some
is
new code.
secondary. No, no, no. I understand. I understand. Ideally,
Uh,
so the image will be the same. So the code merging and everything will be decided by the leads or the architects, right? So, for example, you are the one person
no,
you
no, no, no.
developed one
I'll
thing.
tell you. Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, continue, continue, continue.
Yeah, yeah. So you are the person you just developed one page. I developed one page. Okay. So most ideally, it will the both two page has to go to the any one of the environment, either the dev or QA something. Okay.
Right,
This
right.
code merging concept will be decided by the internal team, right? But coming to the images and everything, it will be the constant according to the
So
project point
image
of view,
will be
right?
the constant because this code merge and PR approval, all those things
Right.
will be done by your programmers or developer team
Right.
lead. Those
Exactly.
managers will be doing this finally. End of the day, you will be getting final code. You no need to play around the code. You no need to think about code. They will be sending you var or jar file or the code file. That's it that you need to containerize. You no need to think about those things.
Okay.
Okay.
So why?
Yeah.
Because
Let's say,
I'm the
let's
developer.
say,
So
let,
so
let's say you are a developer, na? You are building var files, or I think, right? Every time you are
right.
building var jars, right?
Yeah. Right.
And next time some another person is making changes in code, then another var or jar file will be there with you. Am I right? So
No,
at
no,
that
no.
time you need to, I'll tell you,
That
at that time, huh?
that is not possible. So why? Because so we have a checklist for that one, so we can segregate that one. So
Huh?
automatically the system by default Azure DevOps or GitLab or anything, it won't allow. So
Huh?
such kind of the mechanism we do have already, but the concern is how this image pull. That is the my question.
It will be pulling through Docker, na? Docker will be installed. Docker will be pulling this image in local machines.
Okay, by default. So you mean to say that whatever
automatically.
the yeah, Docker file itself, it will interacting with the Docker, right?
So you need to build it. You need to run a Docker build command. So Rakesh, my suggestion for you is join our next batch where we are starting from the Docker. Then your concept
Okay.
will be clear at that moment.
No, no, no. I already aware of that one. How the Docker is going to this one by using automated tools, right? But I want to do it this manually. Then I can know the challenges how it will go. You got my point, right? So that's the reason I'm asking this behind the scenes questions.
Behind the scenes, okay. Have you created Docker? Have you created any container? Have you created any container any time?
Ah, yes, yes. Ah, I do. I created the container. Yeah. So in my
So,
local we have, yeah.
so let me show you something.
Yeah. Okay. You are going with Linux. I'm going with the Docker desktop.
Same thing, right? It doesn't matter.
So
We should
Rakesh,
always use.
Srikanth here. So Rakesh, Srikanth here. To answer
Yeah.
your
Hi.
question, right? So to answer your question, so basically, Docker image will be resided under the Docker repository. Okay. So you
Yeah.
will.
Right.
So all the developers, maybe the Jenkins job will be pushing the image to the Docker repository. Okay. And we'll be having the Docker clients on each and every server. Okay. And we'll configure the Docker registry in the machines. Okay, and that Docker client will be pushing the images automatically.
Through Jenkins. Through Jenkins, you'll be pushing your images to repository and Docker will be installed. Docker daemon is there. And whenever
Exactly. Yes.
you
Yes.
are defining
Right. Right.
Docker run command, Docker run hyphen detachable mode, something, you are defining HTTPD latest version or some specific version. So what will happen here is this image will be pulled by Docker internally. See, I'm having HTTPD locally. Let me do one thing. Let me delete it. Then I'll be showing you. Docker RMI and HTTPD latest used by something gone now. So see that here, if I'm pulling this image. So what is happening is this thing is happening in background. See who this Docker unable to find, it started pulling. See latest pulling from somewhere. It pulled image remotely. That's the
Ah, I
thing.
got
It
it.
will be it will happen automatically. We no need to put any kind of effort there. Got
I
it?
got it. I got it. Yeah, I got it. The concern is, for example, we have one specific commit, right? We have one specific commit. Now, what will I want to deploy this changes only? How the Docker will pull that particular image? It
So see,
Okay,
you
we'll
are
be having
mixing
the
up things.
Docker tags. Okay, we now
right,
need to talk
exactly.
about the
Tags, right?
Docker tags only. Yes, yes,
Uh-huh. Okay, okay. By using tags, right? Okay, got it, got it. Yeah.
yes, yes. Just consider 1.0.0. We'll be having these
Ah, right.
changes. Okay, and next
So who?
1.0.1. Okay, you need to mention those tags.
Yeah.
Okay, and the Docker image uh, will be pulled based on that tag.
See,
Okay.
they are
And
mentioning a tags. Yeah.
tag
Based
is
on tags,
maintained
you
by
can pull
the yeah tag
your
is
own.
maintained by the developer or administrator. How it will?
It totally depends on workflow of your project. If you are building Docker images through Jenkins, so it will be build ID. Or if you are building images by your own, then you are responsible to define the tags over there.
Okay, okay, got it. Yeah, I'm
Got
clear.
it? Okay. Okay, guys. So, yeah, that's the thing. So, guys, let's talk about this thing. I was talking about pod, right? So, guys, we can create pods. Let's just go there. Exactly, pod is nothing but in simple definition, in simple words, I will be defining you about pod. Okay, so pod is nothing but a container of containers. Okay, you can create one or multiple containers in your pod. Okay, so this pod will be deployed in your worker nodes. Okay, how to create pod, how to create a container in it, how we will be enabling communication in between two containers while they are inside same pod, right? On. 2 will be doing like this, right? How they will be communicating to each other here to here, vice versa, and like how to share data in between this container while they are running in the same pod. That we will be talking about how to allocate a CPU and memory to your containers inside the pod. That we will be seeing to achieve highly availability. What exactly replication controller is, that we will be looking into this. Okay, replication controller object that will be helping to replicate our container and manually scale up and scale down. We'll be doing with that replication controller. After that, we got another object called replica set. It is much advanced than your replication controller. So how it is different with replication controller, and what advantages that we are having with replica set, right? How to manually scale up and scale down your pod replica by using replica set. Then finally we got that deployment here. Okay, finally we got the deployment here. So what is the use of deployment object? How to create pods, and how to scale up, scale down, manually scale up, scale down, and auto scale in, scale up and scale down. How it works, rolling update, roll back, what all strategies that we are having with deployment. Why to use deployment always while deploying your application, right? These all things we will be discussing how deployment works even. This thing we are going to discuss. And daemon set, what is the use of daemon set and how to deploy it on your cluster, right? What is the use cases of daemon set, that we will be going to discuss about this. And stateful set, we will be learning how stateful set is different with deployment or another object that we were using to replicate our pods. Okay, so stateful set is something very important. It's service, headless service, so these things we will be discussing. What all type of volumes do we have, which one to use when, that we will be discussing about this persistent volume section, right? Volume, how to create PV, PVC storage classes, what exactly these are, right? So we will be discussing about them. Services, what type of services that we are having available in Kubernetes, that we will be discussing about. What is the use of services, right? Basically, services are used for communication, like internal and external communication. How pod to pod communication will be happening, how your users will be reaching to your application. That is something very important that we'll be learning about. That we will be learning about secrets and config map. Basically, secrets is just to manage your secret in one place, centralized place, and call them in your deployment as per requirement. And similarly, you can do same thing with the configurations. Let's say I'm having one specific type of configuration. I want to keep that configuration in centralized place, or some of the certificate I want to keep in centralized place. I want to call it in multiple deployments. So this is all about that secret and config map. Ingress controller, ingress controller is something very important, guys. We will be looking into nginx ingress controller. Let's say my application name is like something shopping website. Let's say amazon.in. I want to access my application by using its domain name. Okay, amazon.in. So how your application, you will be making it accessible through ingress controller. Okay, how it works, that we will be implementing practically. I will not be having real domain with me. Okay, but I will be creating virtual domains, and then you will be having idea or clue about that. HBA topic should go above for deployment. This will be covered above. Auto scaling, basically it is nothing but with your deployment. Scheduling and probes, we will be talking about what all scheduling mechanism that we are having, what all type of health checks. Probes is nothing but health check, how to perform health checks, that we will be doing here. Correct, that will be performing here. Jobs, cron jobs. Calico is a like plugin. Okay, we'll be learning few things about Calico. And the main part, when it comes to authentication and authorization, how to create users and assign them some of the permissions, that we'll be talking about. How to deploy graphical user interface dashboard in Kubernetes, that will be talking about it. taking the backup of your Kubernetes cluster, okay, taking the backup of Kubernetes cluster and cluster upgradation from 1.20 to 1 point something 21. Okay, we will be updating it. Okay, paint toleration, and finally we'll be looking into Helm chart. How to Helmify your application, a simple application. I will be writing in front of you. I will be making it Helmify. We'll be converting that application to Helm. And what is Helm, what is Helm chart, and what is the Helm packages, how to store it in a centralized repository and download it and do update or rollback. This things we'll be doing in Helm as well. Somehow, if we are having enough time, or I'm getting chance, I'm not promising at all, but I'll be trying to take Argo CD here. Okay, I'll be taking Argo CD as well. So guys, this was the course content that we will be going through. Okay, these are the course content that we'll be going through. I hope you are cleared with this. If you guys are having question queries regarding this course content, ask me. Yep. Yes, guys. Any question queries regarding course content?
Hello.
Yes, Raj.
Regarding the lab part, where we are planning to do the lab part in local machine or in cloud environment?
Very good question. So basically, I'm having multiple setup. Okay, I can help you to do multiple setup. So what you can do is, if your laptop is having good configuration, at least 16 GB of RAM, or somehow 4 to 8 cores available on your laptop, then we can install VirtualBox. In VirtualBox, we can create multiple VMs. Okay, one master and multiple, see that setup like this: master and worker node, 3 VMs will be creating. If you are having less configuration, you can use Docker Desktop. I will be telling you how to create Kubernetes cluster by using Docker Desktop. But again, you might be facing some challenges with Docker Desktop. And we are having cloud option as well, but cloud option is chargeable. You can create a COPS cluster, or QADM cluster on your free tier cloud account, but obviously charges will be there. If you keep running your cluster with heavy node, it depends how much you will be getting, what type of node you are creating, right? You're spinning up load balancer, and how long you are keeping those resources. Still, you are looking for 100% cloud of resources at free of cost. That I'm gonna help you do there as well. I'm having solution for that too.
Okay. And last question that is related to the Spring Boot and microservices deployment kind of the things. Are you going to provide any example end-to-end deployment for Spring Boot
So,
microservices?
yes, yes. So basically, we will be using WordPress application, where we will be having front end running separately, back end running separately, and we'll be enabling communication between them. That will be representing that how applications communicate. If application to application communication, and if you want to communicate your application from outside of the cluster, that will be done. Yeah.
Last question, that diagram you detain master and the worker nodes.
Yes.
Is there any way to communicate master to master?
Obviously, there is way to enable communication in between master to master. Basically, you're talking about here multi-master cluster. Okay,
Right.
right. So basically, these days, this concept is not there. Multi-master cluster node. Okay, multi-master nobody is using because of cloud. If still you want to stick with multi-master, I can give you the steps how it will work.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah,
So
Anish,
do I
so
need
this
to
Rak.
learn Spring Boot as well for
Sorry,
Kubernetes?
which one?
Do I need to Spring Boot? The other person is
No,
asking
no,
about
no, no,
Spring
not
Boot.
at all. No, 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 no,
So what are
not at
the
all.
prerequisites apart from Docker?
For prerequisites of Docker, let me tell you. Okay, when you're
No,
asking
no,
me
not for
about,
Docker. For Kubernetes, what is the
okay,
prerequisite?
prerequisites for Kubernetes is that you need to have knowledge of Docker. You need to have some idea about Docker, how to containerize the application, what exactly Docker is, what exactly container is, right? What Docker does, how containers are getting created, how to containerize the application. That you need to know. There is different technologies are available, as just I think Raj said that about a Spring Boot, or like or some another PHP based application, or somehow like HTML based applications, right? Like how these applications, we are having different technologies. So I'm not telling you to go and start learning Spring Boot, or like Java based application how it works, Node application how it works, Python application. No need to learn all those things. Just learn how to containerize application with basic examples. All you need to know is how Node containers are getting up, how Tomcat containers are getting up, how Spring containers are getting up. That thing you need to know. Okay, but it's not required mandatorily. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Anish. So actually, so from my end, so I do have around 10 people. So in my team, so what we are planning to do is we want to you. I mean, so you need to provide and one more demo for entire team. So that will be help to me. Why? Because so if you are everything will good, right? So let me pull the ops team also in that meeting. Okay. Then after that,
Okay.
let me talk to the management. Then we will go for the corporate training. So that is very
Okay.
required. So why? Because all are the experts. Okay, so from the ops team and developer teams. Okay, so
Sure.
that's the reason. So I want to know how this course will go. So they are already familiar with this Docker and everything, but they want to
Uh-huh.
follow the industry standards, how the real time applications are going, how the microservices are going. So that's the reason.
Mhm.
So we required one more corporate session. So
Sure,
for
sure.
who
We can customize the content at the time. We are
exactly? So,
going
so
that we can
exactly.
customize. That's not.
Okay, so you can revise this I mean syllabus and everything, right? According to the let me share the what we are looking for. Based on that, you can prepare that one. We'll have one session. Then after that, if you are okay with the entire team, right? Then we can
Yeah, yeah,
onboard
yeah.
it. That's one.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely.
Yeah. Srikanth, you're from Visualpath or how it will?
No, no. Shrikant is candidate. You
Okay,
need to
candidate.
talk to
Okay.
Malti. I think you might be having the contact number of her.
Okay, that's
You
all
can
right.
see
That's
on
all
the
right.
chat.
Anyway, yeah, yeah. Talk to her. Just reach me by Monday or Tuesday. Okay, let me talk with the management. Then after that, I will let you know that. Okay, I will share the what are the things we are required from. I mean this entire syllabus. You can customize it and you can share it. If you are okay with this particular demo, then we can onboard it.
Sure, 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 sure.
Okay, okay, all right. That is my end from
Okay,
mine.
okay, Rakesh. And yeah, that's it. I'll in touch with you after the session. And guys, anybody is having question queries, please ask me here itself. Don't keep it pending. Okay. And one more thing, guys, one very important thing that I just want to bring it up here in our session is that the course content, the course content, that whatever that you are seeing here is the mix up of two certifications. Okay. Basically, we are having two certificates available in Kubernetes C and cf.io. If you open this website, it's seeing that two certificates are important here, CKA and CKAD. So around like CKAD is 100% covered, I think, and CKAD is 100% and CKA is around 90 to 95% contents are similar. What I just want to say is, after completion of this course, if you guys want to go with any one of this certificate, you can prepare yourself, then you can go with that. Don't go directly for the certification, because these are like scenario based question will be there. It is not MCQs. It is like real time clusters will be there. You have to implement the things over there. Okay, you will have to implement things over there, like they will be giving you some scenario, create one deployment with this image with this many replicas and create its HPA, something like that, and result will be published after 24 hours. Okay, so be careful. If anybody is planning for certificate, be in touch with me. I will be there on WhatsApp, okay, always, and I can guide you for that one too. Once we are starting like sessions regular on regular basis, we will be like having discussion about that. Okay, guys. So session is starting. We are starting this session from Monday onwards, 8 a.m. Whoever is willing to join, just be in touch with my team. They will be guiding you how it works.
Sorry, what is
Anish,
timing for?
8 a.m.
yeah,
IST.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
8 to
8 to
1 hour, right?
8 to 1 or 9, 8 to 9. Sometimes, like, it increases time. Like, sometimes, like, I'm describing some topics and I cannot, like, quit, right? Okay, it's 9 a.m. We are stopping. It's not like that. Sometimes 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, like that, it goes.
What is the duration of this course? How many classes total?
How many classes is around 20, 25 hours?
20?
Yeah, 20 hours, 20 days, 1 hour per day.
Okay. And do we need any cloud experience
No,
to
no,
get a
no.
job in
You should, it's good to have. It's good to have.
okay.
Yeah.
So you can get a job in by learning only Kubernetes, right? So what Docker and
Definitely,
Kubernetes, right?
definitely. Docker Kubernetes is there. You need to learn it, be confident, clear the interview, get the job.
And code, no coding is there, right?
Yeah, you see, I'll tell you. If you are asking about coding, so we are using YAML. Okay, we are using YAML here. So YAML is nothing but a configuration language where you have to define key values. Okay, multiple key values. What all configuration that you are going to do. You no need to write any kind of loop or function and all. Not at all. But anyhow, you need to write the configuration in YAML format. I will be teaching you how to write syntaxes in YAML. That's the thing.
Okay. Okay.
Anything else?
So Anish, for a certification, you're going to give just a guidance, right?
Yes.
And you're going to demonstrate any, like the queries, how it looks like, and how
I
we
can
can
try
tackle the
to
questions.
I can try to gather like get some of the dumps if possible. I'll try
Hmm.
to check with my colleagues or in my somewhere if I'm getting. So I will be definitely going to share it with you. What type of question they will be asking, how it works, and all those.
Hmm. The
Yeah.
questions is fine. So the main part is to how we need to tackle those questions. I'm not
How
sure
we need to
how this
tackle
the certification course will be.
certification cost is around, I'll tell you. Let me tell
Course.
you.
I'm saying
Three.
I'm not sure uh, um, the content, maybe the type of questions. I'm saying.
Okay, type of questions. I can tell you that one. What type of question you are getting, what is the scenario based that I will be telling you. You don't need to bother for those things.
Okay.
You don't
Mhm.
need to bother. The plus point to do certificate is around 30% of the interview will be cleared after seeing certificate. Trust me. Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, okay, guys, we are ready to close. We are ready to wind up the session. So, bye bye.